There's the go live button. Here we go. There, it finally popped up. All right, well, thank you everyone so much for watching here. I think we're going to have a lot of good discussions. Let me just pull it up so I can read your guys' comments quicker because the live studio sucks, so I got to watch my own stream. I think we're going to have a lot of good discussions here during this video, and there's going to be a lot of information I'm going to be telling you guys about the channel. There's some really cool stuff that's going to be coming up here, both in terms of the videos as well as some other stuff that I'm going to be releasing, so I think you guys are going to be really excited to see some of that stuff. But yeah, again, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you are enjoying this live stream or you enjoy live streams in general, make sure to drop a like on the live stream. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with me just answering some questions, then we'll get into talking about NVIDIA's upcoming GPUs, and then of course I'll be also talking about a lot of stuff that's coming up on the channel, so that'll be really interesting. And so let's get started here. What's coming? We'll get to it, baby. 3080 or 3080 Ti. Buy a 3080 if you get the chance, but that might be kind of difficult. Can you please make that funny intro? Sure. All right, so let's just get this out of the way right away for everyone who's watching. If you're watching right now, if you do want to get access to the Discord, the best way to do that, there's two ways. The first way you can get access to the Discord would be to do a super chat during this live stream. Once you do a super chat, then I will get back to you after the live stream, and I'll get you a private link to the channel Discord. I'm actually fairly active on there. I do talk to a lot of my subscribers. It's kind of like a more one-on-one way to get a hold of me. The second way would be to do a Patreon subscription. So if you do through Patreon, you can get access to the Discord. And then one thing I do want to mention to you guys that's coming up here is that on the Discord, I'm going to be having early access to some merch that's going to be popping up. So over the next week or two here, I'm going to have the first round of merch going up. I created a merch store, so there's going to be some of that stuff. It's starting off with shirts. Then there'll be a different design. So the first round of shirts is going to be like a very limited run. After that, there's going to be a different design of shirts. It'll probably be less limited, and there will also be mouse pads, because I know there's a lot of people asking for mouse pads. So that will be available for early access in the Discord for a little while, and then I will eventually open it up to the entire channel, and I will advertise it. But if you do want a chance to get that, there's a good way of doing that. But in any case, one other quick thing I want to mention. As you may know, I do have a second channel called Epic Funny Time. I haven't been active on it in the last week. I just post memes on there, and that's simply because I've gotten extremely busy. And like I told you guys, this channel is going to always be my main focus. So unfortunately, what that means is if the other channel needs to take a back seat for 1 week or a couple days or something, then that's something that I have to do. But I will get back on that. I'm just finishing up a couple of things this week that are going to take a lot of effort, and once that's done, we'll start posting some more memes over on Epic Funny Time. But in any case, what's coming? All right, so yeah, what's coming is the 3080 Ti as well as the 3070 Ti, I believe in. Oh, looks like my camera's late. Adjust that just a little bit there. There we go. That's more on point. So yeah, the 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti look like they are going to be coming here. That's really honestly pretty cool to see we're finally going to be getting these video cards. I know a lot of people are wondering, like, what's the point of the 3080 Ti? And I think you got to look at it from NVIDIA's perspective, because from a consumer's perspective, it may not make a lot of sense. Some people really, really want it. Some people don't really get it. So for those of you who don't get why the 3080 Ti is going to exist, you may be wondering, you know, it's just going to have an extra 2 gigabytes of VRAM and be like 10% faster. What's the point? Well, the point is there's a lot of people who want the extra 2 gigabytes of VRAM, and there's a lot of people who are willing to pay a lot for an extra 10% more performance. In fact, there's a lot of people who are willing to pay a lot more and get a 3090 and do the same thing with the 24 gigabytes. However, there's a lot of people who don't really need the 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and from NVIDIA's perspective, they can probably crank out more GPUs with using half the amount of VRAM, and they can also get better yields out of the 3080 Ti versus the 3080. That would be my guess. It seems like the 3090 has pretty decent yields. So I think that's kind of the main reason is they're looking at this and they're like, there are people who want to buy up, they want more VRAM and they want more performance, but you know, it's hard for us to keep continuing to make these 3090s with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, as I have heard some rumors that there's potentially a G6 or G6X shortage going on. So what they can do is, instead of giving you 3080s, which they a lot of times are having to cut down 3090s to give you 3080s. I mean, that's what it is. They have to cut down a 3090 to get you a 3080. If the 3090s are getting really good yield, some of those GPUs could be sold just barely, slightly cut down if they just barely don't make the cut for a 3090, and they can sell that to you for $1,000 versus $700 at least for the Founders Edition model. I know AIB cards are definitely going to be a lot more expensive, but just for NVIDIA, they can sell that to their AIB partners as well as you for a lot more money than the 3080, and a lot of people will definitely go out and purchase it. So for me, the 3080 Ti, that's why it makes sense. For a lot of people who are looking at a 3090 because they want the ultimate gaming performance, the 3080 Ti is definitely going to be the better route for you. 24 gigabytes of VRAM is completely unnecessary for gaming at this point. A lot of the people who do go ahead and buy into the 90 class of GPUs are the same type of people who are very likely, you know, not everyone, but a lot of these people are going to be very likely to upgrade every single generation because they always want the best. So by the time you'd even consider getting anywhere near 24 gigabytes of VRAM, that card's going to be a lot slower than a lot of the other cards that are available. I mean, like a 5070 or a 5060 could be as fast as a 3090 at that point. So I really doubt that a lot of those people who would be buying a 90 class GPU are going to really hold on to it until a point where the 24 gigabytes of VRAM even makes sense. Now, if you're someone who's like a 3D artist or something like that, it does make sense to have the 24 gigabytes of VRAM. If you're doing something like that, if you're using it for professional use, it makes sense. For gamers, not so much. 12 gigabytes will definitely get you by until the next generation. You do got to keep in mind the next generation is it's getting kind of close at this point. I mean, it's far away, but we're talking like a year. So in a year's time, I don't think you're going to blow through 12 gigabytes of VRAM in games. I don't think that's going to happen. The reason why I say that is because, you know, the consoles also have access to about 12 gigabytes of VRAM for their games. So, you know, in a year's time, it's unlikely that PC ports of AAA games or PC versions of AAA games are going to have such higher resolutions and such higher, you know, view distances and stuff that you're really going to be blowing through 12 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM. I don't see that being the case. So, yeah, if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know if 12 gigabytes of RAM is enough, I don't know if 16 gigabytes of RAM is going to be enough. If you're just gaming, yeah, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. You know, by the time it's not going to be enough, you'll probably be upgrading. But 8 gigabytes is definitely cutting it really close. Like that, I do not like the 8 gigabytes on the 3070. I really think it should have had 10. I think 10 is fine. 12 is like, you got more than enough, you're good to go. But 10, even 10 is a little cutting it close. 8 gigabytes I don't like. I really don't like 8 gigabytes. All right, let's answer some questions here. Are we getting more fake stock from NVIDIA? No, you'll be getting more real stock because I don't know if you guys know this. I recently did a poll, and there's been a lot of cards sold. And I recently did a poll where I got 31,000 responses, and almost exactly half of my viewers were able to get some sort of GPU, most of them by a large margin getting NVIDIA cards. So I know it is very frustrating that video cards are still hard to get, but we do have to keep in mind they are shipping and selling a lot of product. There's a huge amount of demand right now, and honestly, you know, as much as mining is contributing to that problem, mining is definitely causing a big problem for gamers who are trying to get their hands on video cards. I think a majority of this is really just coming from the gaming community, as there's just a huge amount of demand. The amount of demand for video cards is something like I've never seen before, and I don't think it's something that anyone really could have predicted, and this is why people weren't ready. We got someone spamming. Do we know the 3080 Ti release date? Yes, but now I have to put you in timeout because no spamming. Micro Center has 3 shipments a week in New York, 3 to 12 cards a shipment with no lines, all Strix. Okay. I have no problem with miners. It's scalpers I have a problem with. Yeah, well, and it's one of those things where, I wish people wouldn't scalp GPUs, but if there's no laws against it and people are willingly paying for it, I mean, it's just as much their fault as it is for the people who are actually paying for it. It's the way supply and demand goes. Again, I wish people wouldn't do that. I wish they wouldn't screw up stock by buying up hundreds of units and trying to resell them online. But I also wish people wouldn't buy them online for way over MSRP, but they are. So it's one of those things where when I'm not as worried about scalping because I feel like once demand is met, scalping will just go away. The problem I have with mining is that unlike scalping, where that's being caused by those issues, mining is actually kind of creating an issue. So I think that's kind of a bigger issue in my eyes. In my eyes, the problems go like this. Just demand from like gamers is probably the biggest problem, honestly. Did my screen just go really blue? Yeah, it did. That was weird. So the biggest problem, I think, is just demand from gamers. Then the second biggest problem is people didn't expect this amount of demand and they weren't able to get enough supply ready. Then you have the miners, which contributed to the first problem. And then because there's all these issues, now you have scalpers. And because people are buying from them. So that's kind of the way I view it. I don't like any of it. I wish there wasn't an insane amount of demand. I wish people weren't mining. I wish people weren't scalping. But that's kind of the way I see it. Sensor Pally says, I'd honestly say, yeah, it's probably mostly demand from gamers. We grew in numbers once COVID hit. Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Will it help gamers when Intel GPUs are launched? I think they'll be too late. Let's see. Once we get rid of COVID, there will be no scalpers. I think it'll help. I think, and I've been saying this, but I think probably you'll see over the next month, maybe 2 months, you'll see supply get significantly better. That's my belief. I really do think that's going to happen. I think less people are going to be staying inside buying all kinds of computer parts. But we'll see. NVIDIA should have prepared better, in my opinion. You make graphics cards faster than the 2080 Ti for less. Yeah, I think they made a mistake for sure. I think it was the wrong call, but I think everyone was looking at the market and they thought this big crash was going to happen, and they thought people wouldn't have money to buy stuff. Well, as it turns out, the government printed trillions and trillions of dollars. Now people don't even know what to do. I mean, there's people who definitely they're still struggling out there and they really need the money. But there are a lot of people out there who are just taking this money and spending it right away. And this is what's caused a big problem as well. And of course, that's going to lead to massive inflation in the price of your products going forward as well. So as they continue to print trillions of dollars, get ready for prices to continue to increase. Now, not eBay prices, that'll probably come down. But like MSRP prices from NVIDIA, don't expect a 4080 for $700. I really don't think that's going to happen. There'd have to be some serious competition from AMD to make that happen. All right, so we got a super chat from Mickey Bottoms. Thank you so much for the $5. He says, I have my new cards already, but still enjoy your content. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the $5. If you do want to get added to the Discord, just get a hold of me after the show. The way you can do that is by going over to my channel in the Community tab, I believe, or is it the About tab? The About tab, I think. There's links to both my Twitter as well as my business email. Either way, contact me either way, and I'll get you a private link to the Discord. Jay's 2 cents went in about the 3080 Ti. Well, that's just Jay's 2 cents. I didn't click that because I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say it doesn't make any sense because it's not any faster, or it makes the 3090 not make sense. But I explained this earlier, and I'm sure that's what he said. But like I mentioned earlier, probably what he's not taking into account is he's looking at it from a consumer's perspective, which makes sense. But from NVIDIA's perspective, there's a lot of people who are willing to pay more. And honestly, if they can make an extra $1,000 or an extra $300 over the 3080, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What did he say about that? Jay said, grab whatever card you can get your hands on. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Daniel Tanner, for the $2. Love your channel and your Discord. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much. By the way, I'm no hate against no hate against Jay's 2 cents. I just the way the video was titled, I was like, oh, I know what he's gonna say. I know what he's gonna say. I know he's gonna say this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't. And I just thought to myself, like, well, you gotta understand, like, this from NVIDIA's perspective, as well as, like, there's a lot of people who really want a 3080 Ti. They really do. Drew Slout says the 3080 Ti is stupid. There will be like 2 cards and then there will be out of stock. I don't think so. I think there's going to be more supply of the 3080 Ti than there was of the 3080. It's been delayed like over and over and over again. The 3090 seems to be yielding pretty well. So I think it makes a lot of sense for them to release that, at least from their perspective. RB says it doesn't make any sense because when you have a lot of demand, you make more cards, you don't make a new one because you have even more problems. Well, no, that's that's not necessarily what happens, because the 3080 Ti is based off of the same die as the 3090. So it's not like they're making something new. They're just taking defective 3090s, and instead of turning them into 3080s, they'll probably be turning them into 3080 Ti's. I mean, you're not really able to buy 3080s anyway. From what I can tell, it seems like the 3080s are basically being sold before they even hit retail. It's basically, if you've been looking for a 3080, if you want that around performance, that roughly around that amount of performance, your best chance is probably going to be the 3080 Ti. That's how it's going to be for a while until supply fixes itself. So it's not going to like reduce the amount of cards available. It's not necessarily going to make things easier to get a card in general. But on launch day, it'll give you a chance to get something. Togasaur Plays, thank you so much for the $2. It says, any tips on getting a 3080 Founders Edition from Best Buy? You got to be fast. Save stuff in your cart. Like if you get it in your cart but it doesn't work, just wait with it in your cart. If it goes again, if it's already in your cart, I believe that gives you a leg up. I think so. I may be wrong on that, but I think that's worked for me once when I bought a video card from them. Let's see what people are saying. Which would you recommend, 3090 Supermex or ROG Strix OC? That's a hard question, because I was very disappointed with the Strix's cooler. I don't really know if the Supermex is going to be that much better. I do know the Strix can take water blocks pretty easily, so if you're into water cooling, which is a much better option. If you're going for a 3090, I do highly suggest putting it in a water block and doing a full custom loop. I'll have a video coming up about custom loops pretty soon here, and it's going to be a pretty great video. I hope you guys are going to like it. Me saying it's a great video, yeah, that's... yeah, I'm not biased at all. But I think you guys are going to like that one. But I don't know about the Supermex. I do know the Strix can take the water block, so probably Strix, I guess. It has a 480 watt BIOS. What's coming? 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti, baby. What is the release date? It looks like for 3080 Ti, it's sounding like May 25th. AIB cards potentially on May 30th. The May 25th comes from videocards.com, I believe. I will have a video with a lot more in-depth explanation talking about the 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti tomorrow. But the 3070 Ti, I'll have to take a look at the article again to see. I think they're saying the month afterwards. I'll have to take another look, and I'll go more into detail about that tomorrow. But the 3080 Ti, so the video card says 25th for like launch or something. I don't know if that means they're launching then or if they're available then. I'm not sure. A person reached out to me over the email and geez, how old am I? Over email and told me that on May 30th there would be at least one AIB manufacturer would be releasing some RTX 3080 Ti's. Now, this is the first time this person's reached out to me, so we'll see if it turns out to be true, but it does sound about right. But in any case, someone says, what microphone do you use? I actually use the Blue Yeti Pro, and I'm doing it over XLR right now simply because the USB thing was starting to break. So I just swapped to XLR, but you really don't need to use XLR on it. The USB works great. Will the 3080 Ti come out on pre-builts around the same time, or will it be sold later, and will they be available later in the UK? I'm assuming pre-builts will be roughly around the same time. Maybe not the same day, but we'll see. Kian O'Donovan says, okay, thank you. That's what I need. Your videos have helped me so much. Well, I'm glad that they helped you, and thank you for watching. Let's see. Should I buy a used card from eBay? No. I wouldn't right now because they're all really overpriced. I mean, unless you can get some sort of really crazy deal on it. These video cards are all stupidly overpriced. Any consumer card over $750 just makes makes me shake my head. You know, I agree with you, but people are buying them, and they're not buying them because they got a business. They're not buying them, you know, for some reason that, like, oh, I need this for editing, or I need this for, you know, my professional work. I mean, some people are. But the majority of people are buying this stuff are buying it because they want it, and they want it so bad that they'll pay anything. And believe me, NVIDIA and AMD, they're taking that into account. They're seeing that people want it so bad they'll pay anything. So expect that to affect MSRPs next time around. Is $900 considered okay for Zotac RTX 3070? I mean, I wouldn't pay it, but they're $1,200 on eBay, I guess. I've seen some fluctuation in Ethereum. How do you think this will progress? It's honestly too hard to say what'll happen to crypto. And anything I tell you guys about crypto, by the way, never be buying or selling crypto based on what I tell you, because I just don't want any responsibility for you either gaining or losing money. I'm not a financial advisor. But what I would say, if I was to guess, I think crypto will remain strong for a while, and then it'll dip. I don't think it'll crash, but I think it may dip. And the reason for that is there's a lot of factors at play, so it's hard to say for sure. But if I was just to guess, I would assume that the economy will get a little bit stronger, people will get a little bit more faith in the dollar, and I think everyone's going to make their own digital currency. They're going to make their own cryptos. And when that happens, I think if they're non-inflationary, a lot of people will jump ship from things like Bitcoin to those other currencies. We'll see. It's hard to say how it'll turn out. Maybe they'll be so overregulated people won't like them. But that's kind of my guess, if I was just to take a guess. But again, I really don't know for sure. It's hard to say what will happen with crypto. I think they are wanting to kill off PC gamers with silly prices to force people to consoles. That's quite the conspiracy. Which one would be better value, 3080 or 3080 Ti? 3080 for sure. Should I wait or buy now an RTX 3070? If you can buy a 3070 right now near MSRP, I'd do it. If it's way overpriced, then maybe not. Let's see. I swear I don't even need the money, but I still feel horrible spending $999. Yep, I know how that feels. Spending so much on a card, you're like, oh man, what am I doing? Does 38 Ti stand for Texas Instruments? That's pretty good. When the 38 Ti and 3070 Ti launches, do you think they'll restock their other cards? There'll probably be a small drop of other stuff on the same day as well. They'll probably have like a big flood. It'll be good for their PR. Why don't they just renew the 1070 and 1080? Well, I mean, even if that helped, I don't know how much it would really help, because they're still going to use PCB components, and there's a lot of other things than just the silicon and the GPU that's causing these. There's a lot more components that are really hard to get, so it may actually not even help that much. It's hard to say. It might, but I don't know enough about the shortages to know which specific components are really holding it back. When is the 3060 Ti coming out? That's a good question. I think it launched, but I haven't seen it since. So, you know, honestly, I'd be interested in a GT 310, just to 3010 to see what it would be like, or 3030. Hey, bro, could you do your intro to the videos live? Yeah, sure, I'll do it one more time. All right. Can someone tell us what the freak is coming? We've been talking about it, 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti. I've been talking about that for a long time on the channel. They kept delaying them. I think it's just simply because they couldn't meet demand. I think they're starting to become a little bit more confident in their supply. I've definitely noticed an increase in supply, for sure. Let's see. I just got my 3080 pre-build on Newegg. Why should I wait for the 3080 Ti? You shouldn't. You absolutely should not. You got a great card. Can you confirm 16 gigs version? No, I cannot confirm. There may be a 16 gigabyte version, but it looks like they're going to be targeting a G6X 8 gigabyte version for sure. That's what I know for sure. All right, thank you so much, Mark Smith, for the $5. He says, keep up the great work. I enjoy your videos. I just had to pay $3.99 for a brand new 1650 Super from eBay. I needed it for new work desktop. Yeah, this is a rough situation because if, like, you need a video card, you can't sit there and wait. Like, let's say I didn't. So I have, my girlfriend has a PC that I can use as a backup if something went wrong. But if that wasn't the case, because she doesn't use it that much, so like if something went wrong, I'd be like, hey, sorry, you're gonna have to use your laptop. I have to use this for work. But if that wasn't the case and I couldn't pull the video card out of there or something, if my video card died, I may have to pay a scalper price for something because I would need to do my work to make a living. And that's just a rough spot to be in. Because you're like, oh man, I literally cannot wait. I have no choice. And this is going to be the most painful thing ever. Yeah, that's not a good situation. How much will 3080 Ti cost? It'll be $999 MSRP for the Founders Edition. The other cards will be like starting at $1,200 if you're lucky, probably moving in towards $1,300 to $1,500 depending on which model you get. So expect it to be expensive. I don't want to wait another month to maybe get an $800 GPU. It's not going to be $800. I can tell you that for sure. It's going to be hard to get even at 1,000, like real hard to get. Do you know anyone who scored a GPU on Brobot? Yeah, I know a lot of people who scored a GPU on Brobot. My friend bought a 6800 and he plays Warzone 1440p, 160 FPS. You're good. Yeah, that's a great card for that. So I'm sorry, but what do you think about 3070 Ti again? I think it's a silly product. If it has 16 gigabytes, I'll like it. But it's sounding more like 8 gigabytes, and that's just silly. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And to be honest with you guys, this 3070 Ti, if mining's still going strong, is going to be like a miner's dream because it'll be cheaper than the 3080, but it'll have like close to the same amount of memory bandwidth, and memory bandwidth is very important for that. So, I mean, if they can tune that thing to like 21 gigabits per second on the memory, it's going to be like all the miners are going to just be going for that. Like you'll not have a chance to get the 3070 Ti if that turns out to be the case. We'll see what happens with mining as it goes on. I know there's a lot of stuff happening. There's like this EIP 1559, so people might stop mining Ethereum as much. But then if Ethereum stops getting mined, there's other stuff like Ravencoin, and then, you know, there's countries banning it, and there's other countries who are regulating it, and capital gains taxes are going up in the US. So it's like there's so much happening. I really don't know what's going to happen with that whole mining scenario. How did you come up with the logo? Oh, yeah, actually, so I just put like my GC for graphically challenged, and then I wanted it to be like the fan of a video card, and that's why it spins if you see it in like your notifications, because it spins like a video card fan. All right, Rob R, thank you so much for the $2. He says, better off with Apple M1 over scalp GPU. I mean, if it's that or nothing, yeah. I can't do the Apple ecosystem. It wouldn't work for me. I like to be able to do everything on my computer, including gaming, but if you're not huge into gaming, or if you're okay with like streaming games, hey bro, I keep farting, help me. I don't know how much I can help with that. Pramit Chakraborty says, should I think about building a PC or should I focus on getting a gaming laptop? I I would probably, like, if you want something now, I'd probably buy a pre-built, and then you can change out parts in it later. That, honestly, like, if you're not willing to try and wait and get a graphics card. Thanks for showing me Brobot. Well, it sounds like you got something awesome. Let's see. Oh, we got someone spamming 30-50 win. Oh, uh-oh. All right, put user in timeout. 30-50 is a while. It's a ways out anyway. RTX 3050 Ti news, I would guess probably within the next 2 to 3 months you'll probably see information on that. But it may get even delayed though, because what you got to remember is, like, if they're selling graphics cards for, well, people are buying on eBay for like $3,500. It's hard for, NVIDIA, if they're selling 3090s, to really justify making these entry-level GPUs. It doesn't really make sense right now. Let's see. What's coming just joined? I don't know what that means. Let's see. Vanter says Newegg is not random for sure. I heard some people got picked more than 3 times with only 10 entries. I have 25 entries and it all fails. I mean, that could totally be random. I mean, you could flip a coin and be unlucky and flip tails 25 times in a row. It's technically possible. It's unlikely, but that's a 50-50 chance. Your chances are way lower than that. So that could totally be a random chance. I think it's pretty random, because I've won it like 3 times, and I won it like within 2 weeks. I won twice, and then now I've entered like 10 times and I haven't won a thing. So it's just, I think more people are doing it now. Because when it first came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is garbage. It's not going to work. I'm not entering." Well, now people have realized it actually works pretty good. And so I think everyone's entering it now. When is the 3080 Ti being released? I believe between the 25th and 30th of May. Not this month. What's going on? Just joined. We're talking about video cards, baby. Is AMD RX 6900 XT good for content creation? For me, it wasn't. It wasn't good with the Adobe software when I used the 6800 XT right away. There's been a lot of updates since then, so you may want to look into that. But I couldn't use it. I feel bad for people who sold their 2080 Ti's for $500. Yeah, they really goofed. That was a big goof. I remember there's so many people, they're all saying like, "Oh, you should sell your," I don't remember who did this, but there's someone who's like, they're like, "You're an idiot if you don't sell your 2080 Ti now." Well, yeah, that didn't work out well. I remember telling people, because I saw that video and I didn't even click on it because I knew, I was like, "You're out of your mind." Don't tell people to do that. And I'm surprised that guy, I can't remember who it was, but I'm surprised that guy doesn't get a bunch of backlash for that. Or just getting dragged, because he totally just screwed a bunch of people over by telling them to sell something, and then now they can't get anything. And I remember telling people at the time, I was like, "Look, basically do whatever you want, but honestly, I'd be careful selling your card right now, because we don't know how long it's going to be till you can get a 3080. Well, it turns out it's been 6 months and you can't get one. So I'm glad I told people not to sell their cards. Because it just, I was like, no. Why don't they make, okay, so thank you, Nick Barr, for the $5. He says, why don't they make a higher power consumption card to make it a lot less appealing to crypto miners? Well, the reason why they wouldn't do that is because, A, they need to like strap more PCIe stuff onto it. It'd be more costly to manufacture because you'd need more components. And then that would be B. And then C, crypto miners will just tune it to draw less power. Like, they'll just go into MSI Afterburner or whatever and make it draw less power. So it just wouldn't work. 1,000-watt card, locked BIOS, 1,000 watts only. Oh man. Holy cow. Thank you, Samuel Millett, for the $50. That's wild. Thank you so much. He says, I got ripped off buying a 3090 for the Win 3 a few months back so I could use my VR and sim rig setup. Already paid for half of it mining when I'm not gaming. I'm sure I'm not the only one doing this. Sorry for being part of the problem. Thank you for the content. No, thank you for the $50. Don't worry about it. You're not part of the problem. In fact, like, yes, you're drawing extra power than you should be, I'm sure. There's a lot of things we could do to not draw more power. We could not leave things plugged in overnight, that sort of thing. I'm sure it's not good. But realistically, if you think you're part of the problem as to why people can't get video cards, don't feel bad about that, because honestly, if anything, you're kind of helping, because the more people who mine, the difficulty goes up and it becomes less profitable for miners. So realistically, you may actually be helping. So if you have your video card and you want to mine, go for it. I don't do it, but if you want to do it, I mean, sure, why not? But again, yeah, thank you so much for the $50. That was awesome. And of course, if you do want to get added to the Discord, just get a hold of me afterwards and I'll get you a private link to that Discord. If you can't beat them, join them, someone says. Ignacio says scalpers are the problem. The amount of cards sitting with people dormant, drawing up prices. I talked about this earlier. I think in terms of the problems, it's like, first, demand from gamers. Second, not meeting supply. Third, mining creating even more demand. Fourth, scalping because there's so much demand and there's not enough supply that it's created scalpers. That's kind of the way I see the hierarchy of the problem. But yeah, I mean, if miners went away, like if mining was not profitable and people weren't buying a bunch of cards, it would probably be like half as difficult to get something right now. I think they're like seriously contributing to it. Like I know there's some people who are like, miners don't cause the problem. And I'm like, well, these mining operations, I don't know if you guys seen these videos, like they have thousands of cards. They're definitely contributing. They're definitely making it harder for you to get a card. The guy in his basement mining off one card is not making it any more difficult for you. Console scalpers are worse. To be honest with you, it seems like the Xbox isn't too bad on like eBay. It seems like it's starting to come down in price, which is a good sign. It's probably meaning that demand will get met soonish. PS5 is still really overpriced, so that's not good. When will RX 6800M release? I honestly don't know. The manufacturers not having control over the distribution chain is the problem. If they made sure products were actually in stores instead of online, they wouldn't have these problems. Yeah, honestly, I wish they did have more. I wish they had more control over that, because I feel like I don't know who in the chain's doing it. I don't know if it's distributors or whoever, but someone in the chain is being like, yeah, we can have 10 units not show up for sale if you're willing to pay more than MSRP. Is NVIDIA streaming since you are also streaming or live right now? No, I don't think they're streaming. This is just a classic stream, baby. Hot take: mining is unethical. I think in large scale mining is unethical. I think like tens or hundreds of thousands of cards mining all at once is kind of unethical. I think it's a big waste of power. Now, if it's all being, if it's all from green energy, I guess it doesn't really matter. But you take a look at like China, and over there it's mostly like coal, I believe. So that's not good. That's really bad. Let's see, how's it unethical? Well, like I just said, large-scale mining in places like China where it's mostly coal that's creating it that's not good. Because you're just burning tons of coal to do it then. It's just not good for the environment. Let's see, what are your thoughts about potential hard drive scalping? It could happen. It could really happen. We'll see. I guess I'd rather get scalped for a hard drive than a video card, though. Like, to be honest with you, I'd much rather hard drives be out of stock. Mongolia ban was really fun. Yeah, I wonder if China as a whole is going to ban it. I wonder. Let's see. When do you think supply will be back to normal? To normal, like where you can just buy something whenever you want, is probably going to be 2022, hopefully early 2022. When will it get to a point where it's not like really hard to get a card? I'm hoping within a few months. We'll see. Like, it does seem to be getting better as the months go by. It's like a couple months ago, I was like, expect supply to get better in a couple months. And it looks like it actually has, which is good. But it's still not good enough. Clearly, it's not good enough. I'd go ahead and say it's unethical given just how much energy sink it is, even if the mining being done now is only being done by individuals. This impact and waste would be the same. Yeah, I mean, if every single person was mining, that it's not great, especially if it's not coming from green energy, which I don't know where people are living. If depending on where people are living, how they're getting their energy. If you're getting it all from solar, it's probably mostly fine. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that wastes a lot of energy. That's why I'm like, I'm not doing it because I don't like it. But if you want to do it, I don't know how you're getting your energy. Go for it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, pick it in front of a tree. I'm not I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want with your products, but I'm not going to do it. I just feel there's something about it. Like, I feel bad leaving computers on. I feel bad. Like, mining just makes me feel terrible. I don't know what it is. Hydropower. That's probably a good way of doing it too. But again, I don't know how people are getting their energy. I mean, like, if you're sitting there mining with the card you're gaming on and you're getting all your energy from solar, there's probably no issue with that at all. It's probably like the negative impact of that's probably really minute. Install solar panels on your house, then you will have zero guilt doing anything. Yeah, honestly. Let's see. You will be able to mine on your SSD soon. Yeah, probably very soon. That Chia coin that could really throw a wrench in things. Someone says it still produces heat. Well, yeah, but SSDs are like way less power draw than GPUs. I think it's a good, if we're gonna mine, if it's gonna happen either way, I'd much rather it be drives because doesn't impact gaming as much, because if a lot of people already have enough storage, to be honest with you, and if you don't, maybe go buy it now in case it goes up. And two, it's far less of a power draw, and it was created because of that, from what I read. That Chia coin was supposedly created so that it could be a more green way of mining. Abbott Dynamic Design Manufacturing says, guys, we need mining. Think about it for the cryptoverse. It's necessary. What about pollution in production of the SSDs? I mean, see, this is the problem. Like, when something's like so ridiculously bad and you just know it's bad, you're like, everyone can agree, like, okay, yeah, we probably shouldn't be doing that. Like, hundreds of thousands of GPUs mining in mass in China off of coal energy is not good. And I think everyone can agree on that. But then you start getting into, okay, well, this uses energy, this uses energy. Well, then creating this uses waste. Like, everything creates waste to a certain degree. And that's just part of life. What's coming? 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti, baby. Bad get badder. I'd rather anything be anything than pointless mining. What's your favorite company for NVIDIA cards? I think it's got to be EVGA, not necessarily because they have the best cards, though they do have some good ones. I really like their ecosystem and their warranty and support. That's why I like them. Let's see. Mining RGB. There you go, baby. I'm guessing 10 and 12 gigabytes, probably 8 and 12. When is the date? 3080 Ti should be sometime between 25th and the 30th, based on what video cards have said, as well as some information that was sent to me over email. Let's see. Is EVGA still about 3 months? I don't even know what you're talking about. Will there be a 3070 Ti 16 gigabyte? It's possible. I wouldn't expect it anytime soon because I think there's a G6 and G6X shortage. Let's see. Will any new Founders Edition cards be released? Probably a 3080 Ti Founders Edition. Possibly not. All right, mining certainly isn't pointless if you care about crypto at all and more interest in GPUs. I mean, more tech advancements. Well, I don't think mining improves GPUs at all. Maybe like efficiency, it helps with efficiency, but like the drive for more efficient cards, but clearly it didn't. Since after the last mining boom, we got more power hungry cards, so I don't think it helps at all. Thank you, Eddie Gutierrez. Gosh, I can't do this. You're screwing up your name. Thank you so much for the $5. He says, what do you think about Redux? They charged me $837 for my GeForce RTX 3070 8GB. Redux. Is that like a website? You'll have to tell me if that's a website or not. 837 is kind of expensive, but I guess everything's expensive right now. I mean, it's supposed to be a $500 card. That's a big increase, but Gutierrez, is that Gutierrez? Is that how you say it? Gutierrez? Yeah, that might be right. It's a pre-build vendor. Oh, and they just sold you straight card? Gutierrez. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. The company that charges a $60 build fee at MSRP, apparently. That's not too bad. No, it came with my pre-built. Oh, and then that's how much it added to the pre-built? It's probably a little more than it should be, but I guess it's certainly better than getting scalped. I've never heard of them before though. And as long as you get it and it works, awesome. Have you used EVGA or Newegg Shuffle? Yes, I've used both of them. 3090 is $4,000 now. Is it going up in price? Don't tell me. It seemed like things were just decreasing. Let's take a check. RTX 3090. Are things going back up? They better not be going back up. Let's see. Sold and completed. Let's do that. All right, what we're looking at here: 3100, 3000, 2850, 3000, 2300, 3250, 3000, 2300, 31. It seems like the Founders Editions have dropped pretty significantly. They were going for over like $3,000 for a little bit, it seemed like. It seemed like they've dropped like $200. I think they're going down in price, actually. Looks like things are starting to go down. Just from a quick glance. It seems like things are a little cheaper. Like $200 cheaper than they were. Giveaways are your best chance of getting a card? Absolutely not. That's your worst chance of getting a card. Would you pay $2,400 for a 3070 with 5800X pre-built? Depends on what's in the system. I mean, it's got a lot of really, really nice storage and a really nice motherboard. Yeah, I suppose. But if it's got like bare bones stuff, no. Let's see. At this rate, we'll be able to buy an MSRP 3090 in 2023. I think it won't be too much longer. Almost 4K in Vietnam. That's ridiculous. That's outrageous. This is outrageous. This is unfair. How could they promise these cards and not have them in stock? Let's see. Do you honestly think 10 gigabytes of VRAM and 3080 will be a problem in the near future? Near future, no. I feel like I gotta sneeze, but I'm not gonna. Okay. I thought I was paying too much for my $3,850. Yeah, well, you're laughing now. I heard there's stock everywhere in Taiwan. Yeah, I've been hearing that they got like stock. Cheapest card for 4K in here is 6900 XT. Oh, I see. Okay. Why you live? Is there gonna be a drop? What? I don't even know what you're saying. Verified actual gamer. Yeah. Only verified actual gamers in this stream. Who's coming? I'm coming. NVIDIA's just inspect elementing the stock number. Yeah, my 3090 for 1500 was a good deal. Yeah, looking back. I couldn't even break the code. I don't even know what he's talking about. Asus GeForce RTX 3090 Tough Gaming 1700 NOK. I can't remember how much that would be in US. I was able to walk into Micro Center at 3 p.m. yesterday and buy a 3080 and was able to pick out the brand too. It was kind of awesome. Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Would pay 500 for a 3060 unless you were going to resell. Wouldn't pay 500. Yeah, 500 is way too high. Let's see. We need to unionize against scalpers. Well, yeah, just stop buying them and then they'll stop selling them. I meant, why are you live on YouTube? I didn't know I lived in YouTube. Do I? I can't get out. I think there's a language barrier going on here. What's the stream referring to? The 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti. At this point, the 30 series is worth more than a liver. Yeah, honestly. What do you think about Jay's 2 cents rant on the last video? Should NVIDIA stop releasing new GPUs? No, that's I don't agree with that at all. I think that's silly. And frankly, they've had this stuff in the works for a long time. I mean, what are they going to do? Come on, they're just going to stop releasing new video cards because there's too much demand? No, they're not going to stop doing it, nor should they. And frankly, I mean, do you really want to live in a society where companies just stop making stuff because they can't meet demand? No. I mean, even if it doesn't help you get more cards, isn't it at least interesting and fun for new video cards to come out? I mean, I don't know. I really disagree with that. And by the way, if you are watching right now and you're not subscribed for whatever reason, which would be very bizarre, but if you're not, just make sure you go ahead and subscribe. If you are subscribed, subscribe if you want to see all kinds of new interesting content coming out anyway. If you are subscribed and you haven't hit the bell icon, make sure that you hit that bell icon and enable all notifications. That way you can choose for yourself, do I want to watch this video or not? Because otherwise, I've noticed with some other channels, you know, sometimes YouTube, like, it accidentally doesn't send you a notification or something. So that's the best way to do that. You just, if you enable all notifications, because then you actually see it on your phone every time, and then you're like, all right, I'll click on that, or maybe I won't click on that. Then you get to make the decision instead of YouTube making the decision for you. Let's see. What's the best chance to get a GPU if no retailers within 5 hours from where I live? Probably online, and that's going to be a little difficult, but I think you can do it. If you got the time and you're fast enough, it seems to be getting better every month that goes by, so I plan to upgrade from 2080. Is 3070 better? If yes, is it worth moving from a 2080 to a 3070? So here's what I'd say. The 3070 is definitely way better than a 2080. If you're just gaming, you might be better off with the 6700 XT unless you're into a lot of the content creation stuff with NVIDIA. The reason why I say that is I think moving from an 8GB card to an 8GB card just isn't ideal. If you don't care about that, awesome. Yes, the 3070 will be much better, but I'd probably say like 6700 XT or even 3080 just to get a little bit more VRAM. I mean, the 3070 is what, like 30% faster, somewhere around there. I don't know. What's your personal rig? Okay, this is bizarre, guys, but I'm going to have to buy, this hurts me to even say. I'm going to have to buy a $600 case. A $600 computer case. Do you know how absurd that is? I have no choice. I literally have no other options. I mean, if you guys know of any other options, then let me know. But here's why. So I'm doing a video for Corsair soon, and they sent me a 480 millimeter radiator, right? My case said it would fit a 480 millimeter in the front, right? It's not going to fit. It said it would. I just don't see it happening. Maybe I could squeeze it in there. I don't think so. And so I was looking for cases that can fit a 480 millimeter radiator in it, because I'm like, they sent me this stuff. I gotta do the video, right? I gotta put this video out. I was gonna do a video about water cooling anyway, but they sent me all this equipment. I gotta make this video. And I can't just not use the stuff they sent me. So my only option is a $600 case, because I looked everywhere, and since Case Labs closed and there's all these other companies that have closed and nobody's making these super towers anymore, the only super tower that's available that would actually fit a 480 millimeter radiator in the front so I can get clean air right into the GPU is the Corsair 1000D. The Corsair 1000D, after shipping and taxes, is $600. So for the love of God, if anyone knows of another case that I can buy that fits a 480 millimeter radiator that's not an open case, then let me know. I will happily not pay $600 for a case. It's ridiculous. So please let me know if you can, because otherwise, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of money to spend on a case. It's ridiculous. All right, and then thank you so much, Abbott Dynamic Design and Manufacturing, for the $5. He says, do you think the 3080 Ti will have an 8 and 16 gigabyte configuration? I've heard different things. The 3080 Ti will not. It will be 12 gigabytes. The 3070 Ti will likely only be 8 gigabytes, though it's possible a 16 gigabyte version will come out later. But again, thank you for the $5. All right, let's see what people are saying. Fantex Enthu. Let's start. If you guys can help me with this, let's start looking. Because, man, as you can imagine, do I not want to spend $600 on a case? I was, and guys, the radiator's like this close to fitting. It's so close to fitting in my current case. It's just like, oh, come on. It's so close. It's literally like PC 011 XL. Let's see. Let's go to Newegg. They seem to have a lot of cases. PC 011 XL. Wow, that's apparently they don't have it. Okay, let's look it up just on PC 011 XL. All right, let's see. Lian Li PC 11 Dynamic XL. Okay. I don't like the glass on the front. I really don't like that. But MeshFi 2XL, that's the case I have. I have the MeshFi 2XL, and it says it could fit, and I really don't think it's going to fit, guys. Like, I really don't think it's going to fit. I mean, I could give it a try. I'll probably give it a try after the stream. But, I mean, here's how it is. So here's the top and the bottom of the case. And, like, the 420 radiator would literally be touching the top and the bottom of the case. So it's like, okay, maybe it'll fit. Except for, I don't know how I'm going to get it in. So I feel like I'd have to bend the case. So I really don't think it's going to work. So, word to the wise, go with a 420 millimeter radiator. Don't go with the 480, because you're basically stuck to spending an obscene amount of money on a case. All right, so what's up with this PC-O11 dynamic? Because where is it intaking? From the bottom? Is it only intaking from the bottom, or does it intake from the sides? I'm not sure where this thing intakes from. Bottom and side. Okay. I just don't see any pictures like with fans, because this might work for me. This potentially could work. Because yeah, the Corsair 1000D is, I mean, it's an awesome case, but whew. Then we got another super chat from Alessio M. Thank you so much for the $5 Canadian. He says, do you think 6900/6800 XT will age better than the 3080/3080 Ti, or will ray tracing performance hinder it too much? He said, keep up the great videos. Well, thank you so much for the $5 and for saying keep up the great videos. I definitely will continue to make videos. Anyway, let's get to your question. And I actually think the 30 series will age better. The reason why I say this is they have an enormous amount of cores. They have better ray tracing performance, and I think DLSS is going to prove to really help it out in the long run. But we'll see. We'll see. The limited VRAM could definitely hinder the 3080, though. I think the 3090 is going to age like a champion, though. I really do. All right, let's find another review of the O11 Dynamic, because I cannot find any pictures of them like taking pieces out of it or... Let's see. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it up on another tab so you guys can watch with me. Let's do this. So what would it be, like Edge browser? Yeah, Edge browser. We can do that. The reason why I'm using Edge is so that I can kind of like do two things at once here, not have to worry about giving you guys another stream of me. Edge. Yes, Edge. Let's see. All right, so window capture, Microsoft Edge. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna make myself smaller. Here we go. We're gonna F11 this baby. All right, let's start looking. Get out of here. What's going on here? What is this? Okay, what is going... Can I please look something up, Microsoft Edge? Okay. Okay. Oh, geez. All right, so it was the PC O11 Dynamic XL. And will it actually fit a full 480 radiator in there? That is the question. So, let's do, okay, so Tweakdown did a review. Let's do review. And let's do this. Edge loves to punish you every time you open it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's see here. So Tweaktown, Amazon. Oh, here we go. Gamers Nexus. This is... Oh, and it's got he's got a video and some images. So let's see. How is he in? So he's intaking cool air through the bottom. I like that. That's a good idea. Oh, he's just got a bunch of... Yeah, let's go watch the video so we can get some B-roll. Let's see what we got here. So, oh, I need to make myself smaller. And we need to make this bigger. In fact, let's just full screen this bad boy. Or not. Okay, we're not full screening. Oh, now we are. Okay. So here it is. It looks like, yeah, he's intaking through the back there. So, hold on. Wait a minute. Are there two different versions? There's one with no glass and there's one with glass? Because if that's the case, I'd much prefer the one with no glass. YouTube auto and subbed you? Well, make sure you sub and hit the bell icon for sure. Oh, it looks like he's doing an ad here. So yeah, it looks like... Hey, this actually might work, guys. This might actually work for me, guys. This might be a good idea. I have the O11 Air. I love it. Is the O11 Air an XL? Or... He's got a pretty healthy cat. Is it an Air or is it... or sorry, is it an XL or is it not an XL? Thermaltake Core X71. I actually do have the X71. The reason why I can't use that is because on the top it doesn't fit a 420. So here's the question. But can you get this pump / reservoir up front? I think I can get the pump in there, no problem. I have the 11. I would pick the Enthoo 719 over it way more. It has 360 support on top and bottom and 480 support on side and front. The Enthoo 719. Okay, let's look that up. So I like this one. Thank God I talked to you guys, because I was about to nearly spend $600 on a case, and I don't think I'm going to have to do that anymore. Because look, the 1000D is awesome. It's cool, it's awesome, it's huge, and you'll never have to buy another case again. But it's $600 for a case. Let's take a look here. Let's see. So is the Enthoo 719, was that it? Okay, and then thank you, Abbott Dynamic Design and Manufacturing LLC says if that doesn't work, search for Enthoo Elite or Primo. Looks like there's plenty of space. Okay. Let's see. So the Enthoo 719. I don't know if I'm liking this. Because if we take a look at... So let's do review. I don't know if I like this because if you take a look here... Let's see. The reason why I'm not really liking this is if you take a look at the front there, that looks like really restrictive airflow. I don't like when there's not just a mesh. Jeez, could they do a worse job on their cable mesh? Anyway. The side looks pretty decent. I don't know what's up with that window in the back. I really don't like that. I don't know, guys. Look at the Tower 900. Yeah, I'll take a look. I kind of like that last one we were looking at, the 011 Dynamic. That was kind of a cool... I keep having to switch cases. I just need to find something that works. The question is, can the 011 Dynamic take a 420 on top? And that's something I don't know. That's something I don't really know. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I like that front. Sometimes you really need to take a close look at it to tell for sure, though. It does have a Type-C, that's very nice. This just is very reminiscent of, like, old school PCs. Like, with the curves and stuff. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this. I don't like how the power supply is either. I don't really like anything about this case. I'm going to have to say no. Use the Thermaltake for the 480. Well, the X71 would take the 480 in front, but it couldn't do the 420 on top. So the question is the Lian Li 011 Dynamic XL, can it take a 420 millimeter radiator on top? Oh, geez, I almost just clicked something. That's something I don't really know. So here's... It looks like it has a little mesh thing. Maybe I'll just take the glass off the front of it. Or is that a different case he was showing? I think it was a different case. Oh, they have those nice little handle things there. That's kind of nice. What's coming? Okay, yeah, sorry if you guys are late. We're looking at cases right now, but what's coming is 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti. Yeah, the 011 Dynamic looks nice. I'll have to look into some of these. See what I can find, because I think that would work well. I'm just trying to look at some pictures. What is this now? Okay, they got some... Corsair 1000D is awesome, but Tower 900. I'll have to take a look at that too, real quick. He's showing the clasps again. Okay, I get it. Hold on now. It's only showing him able to fit 3 fans in there. Is this case actually going to be able to fit a 480? Because if those are 3 140s, that may not fit, guys. Try the Thermaltake P3. Well, I'll have to look at this in a little bit here, but anyway, let's get back to answering some questions. That was pretty helpful, so I'll have to look at some of that stuff. All right, let's pull you guys back up here. I think I'm going to answer some more questions, and we'll probably wrap this stream up here in a little bit here. Just use a cardboard box. Started streaming 69 minutes ago. Yeah, it's a pretty long time. Do you think NVIDIA should start suing scalpers? I mean, that seems like a waste of time. I don't know how you're going to track every single one of them down. Buy a used case? Maybe. I mean, cases, I guess I could check. You can only fit 3. I have 6 Lian Li XL cases. Well, yeah, but can you fit... It'll fit a 420, not a 480. Okay, yeah. See, because I need to fit a 480 millimeter radiator. I'll see if I can squeeze it into this current case. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Dude, look at PC Part Picker's completed builds. Yeah, I could do something like that. I'll have to take a look. 1 terabyte SSD. There's a lot of good ones. Should I get a Lian Li OLM 11 Dynamic or Corsair 5000D? I think they'd both be good. What's your take on gaming laptops? I don't like them. They're not upgradable. I really don't like them. Let's see. What's coming? Couldn't see the stream, or I didn't get the title. So yeah, we were talking about the 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti. Let's see here. I'm happy I bought mine the date launch for $1,400. Okay, I think they're talking about 6900 XT. $2,500 for 6900 XT. Yeah, that's woo-wee. That's a lot. That is a lot. $850 for 6700 XT, an alright deal. Nah, it's not very good, but it's up to you. Is i7 10700K paired with 1600 XT good enough for 1080p streaming? Yeah, that should be plenty fine. Honestly, 10850K it'll add $125. Jeez. I think 8 cores is enough for streaming. Realistically, I mean, if you're worried, go for the 10 core, but it should be fine. Especially if you're like streaming using encoder on the GPU or something. If stock of stuff comes up, will tariffs go away? I don't know when or if tariffs will go away. How insane would you say 3.7 combo with 3080 and 11700 KF? I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions here, guys, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Let's see. If tariffs on computer hardware are gone, what price drops would you see? Pretty significant, I think. Let's see, $1,400 for RTX 3060 Ti. That's ridiculous. Should I air cool or water cool 10900K? It depends on your case and if you like water cooling or air cooling. Let's see. Why do you do a weird turn to face the camera? Because it's just a thing. It's not stopping now, baby. It's the thing. It's what we do here, baby. All right. Is 750 watt platinum enough for 3090? I certainly would not do that. I really don't think that's enough, especially if you're overclocking. It may be, but I wouldn't. 11th gen Intel or Alder Lake? Wait for Alder Lake? Yeah, wait for Alder Lake. What's coming? 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti, baby. 1,000 watt? Yeah, I'd say 1,000 watt for 3090, honestly. How did you get all your cards? By being fast. And now they're all with friends and family. So now everyone has a card. Should I spend $200 on a 3600 with the 3060 Ti 35600X? Or I think you'll probably be happier with the 5600X. But 3600 is plenty fine. But in any case, guys, I think that's going to do it. I'll answer one more question here. Let's see. Yeah, he got me a 650 Ti. I'm gonna go ahead and look at cases after this for a little bit, and then I gotta get a bunch of other stuff done. So in any case, let's see. What did I eat? Come on, you gotta ask something else for your last question here. Will a 3080 and 5600X work fine? Yes, that'll work great. But in any case, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed for whatever reason, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon, enable all notifications. But I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Tomorrow's video, I think you guys are really going to like. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.